Oh my God. If y'all don't start wearing your masks and following frickin' directions. I left here 6 days ago. 3 vents. Got to work, I had 9. By the end, I had 12. A lot of them are young people. Went to the bar, went to the gym. Here in Texas, good old Governor Abbott doesn't require face masks. It's advised. You want to know how many businesses I have been in on my way? And there's not very much. I'm going to tell you right now, between El Paso and Laredo, there's a whole lot of nothing. There's a couple really small towns that I'm surprised even have a post office. And I'm not talking about like Gladwin. I am talking about like there's a couple stray mobile homes out in the middle of the fucking desert. And there's border patrol on ATVs actively riding through deserts and fields and along the Rio Grande, which was actually really pretty to drive over. It was blue. It's not blue in El Paso. I am sitting in the car because I am too stiff and tired to actually stand up and walk into the house and crawl up the stairs. And I get to go back in tonight. 6 nights of this. FEMA was called out by the state to the hospital to send nurses because we did not have enough nursing staff in the ICU to take care of the patients. Most ICU nurses only take 2 patients max. If they're a one-on-one, you only get 1 patient. They each had 3. They couldn't help each other out because, everybody was drowning. So they did send out about 3 a.m. We got help from FEMA. I don't know I have not watched the rally to hear the entire speech that was given. I've only seen biased news articles. So I haven't listened to everything in the entirety. What I do know is cutting the funding for the testing sites to the Department of Health and Human Services. That is who I am employed by right now, is the Texas Department of Health and Human Services. Coincidentally, our contract ends with the Department of Health and Human Services on the 30th, tentatively. Who knows what's going to happen now that FEMA's been activated. So that funding wasn't just for testing sites. That was also funding help to these hospitals that are getting fucking buried. Laredo is a third of the size of El Paso. It is very small. It is a small town on the border of Mexico. And some of the people I have in my ICU are from Mexico. I can't even... I know how my husband feels, and when I look at his words from the clinic, filling out his CBT and all his freaking stuck points, about this not being the world that he was raised in and that he feels attacked in it. I am looking around at all the bullshit that is going on and all the political gains and the political moves, and everything's got to be about fucking politics right now, and the hell with human lives. I got a problem with that. Nobody has any respect for anybody's life. They don't have any respect for fucking history. They don't have respect for anything. Nothing. Not even their own goddamn families. And I am sick of it. I sit here and watch nothing but death day in and day out ever since I started chasing COVID. And I am watching Black Lives Matter tear apart my fucking country with Antifa. I am looking at white people kissing everybody's asses that they don't even understand what the hell's even going on. And then you all want to bitch about wearing a fucking mask. I am sick of it. My guy, who got off the ventilator before I left, who wanted to have relations with his wife. You want to guess who's back on the vent and who's not going to make it? Him. He's not going to have those freaking relations with his wife that he wanted so badly to have when he come off that ventilator. And I got to listen to people bitch about everything. And I'm going to tell you something. This ain't the work of the devil. This is the work of the Lord. Don't you give the devil credit for the Lord's work. The Lord has been trying to get it through people's fucking heads since the beginning of mankind. That y'all need to learn how to get along and have some faith. This is a very valuable lesson. This is not the work of the devil. This is the work of the Lord. He's got a very strong message for every freaking one of you who think that you're better than everybody else, who think that you're more entitled to something than anybody else. You ain't entitled to shit. The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. Nothing. Work for it. Get off your lazy ass and go work for it. You don't get to have, you are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That doesn't mean we have to give it to you. You get off your ass and you go do it yourself. If you want it, this is America. You have enough freedom to go fucking do it. But don't you dare tell me or anybody that we owe you something here. I'm over it. I am over it. I don't want the toxicity in my life. If you're toxic, you're gone. I cannot deal. I deal with so much toxicity just looking at my job every day. And then I have to wonder, okay, am I going to get paid? You're going to try and cut my pay while quadrupling my work? I was talking to another girl this morning who was also up in New York City. And what we are seeing right now is exactly what we've seen in the beginning. This is the shit nightmares are made of, folks. But you want to bitch about wearing a fucking mask? Oh, I'm dropping F-bombs today. I am not happy. I am not happy. I am disgusted. I am disgusted with the world. I'm disgusted with what I see. I'm disgusted with politics to the point where I am probably not even going to vote. There is no good choice. I can't play devil's advocate for any of it. I can't. I really can't. It's a freedom I have is to vote. Women's suffrage. I am definitely going to pray. That's what I'm going to be doing a lot of. Looking for guidance. I can't do this. I can't do this with people. I can't do this with the hatred. I can't do this with tearing my country apart. I can't. I'm not going to. I will not. I just can't. I am absolutely disgusted with what I see every day on Facebook and the hate and the comments. And that's what prompted the original rant, was the comments regarding Michigan militia and the nastiness towards each other in the state. The hate. That's my home state. That's not the people I know. And here they've been silent throughout all of this. They're not out there guarding Michigan statues, are they? I haven't seen anything. Fox News, WNEM. I haven't seen anything about the Michigan militia since the beginning of COVID and wanting to hang Governor Whitmer by a noose. Your governor is trying to save your lives. Your governor is trying to keep you safe from stupid people. Gyms, the bar, all these socialization places that people go and aren't practicing distancing. I talked to a lady yesterday, her friend. was freaking out because she works for an eye doctor. And they're not cleaning the equipment in between patients. She didn't want to go to work, and the women at work were making fun of her for wearing a mask and picking on her. Within a half an hour, I got a message back that there was an exposure to COVID, and they shut the office down. But yet you're going to make fun of your coworker. I bet it ain't so funny now. Now that you've been exposed, I bet it ain't so freaking funny. The Lord has a plan for us, and we are going to be our own demise. We are. We just can't get it right. We can't. We have no tolerance. It just gets worse and worse. It's a 9.5 hour drive here. It took me 12.5 because it was bright and sunny out and I get sleepy. But that entire trip, I listened to nothing but gospel and sermons. Learning about the stories in the Bible, what they mean. And I'm going to tell you what. People need to find Jesus. And I ain't even kidding. I know how my husband feels. I can completely understand that man's internal struggle. Probably better than he can understand himself. The only good thing about Texas is that we are number 2 in the lowest amount of death of all the 25 hardest hit states. I don't know what we're doing different here. I really don't, because we have a very large Hispanic community population, and Hispanics and African Americans are at the top of the list of complications. And that's my guy who is not going to make it. Complications, mini strokes. He's just kind of agonal breathing on the ventilator right now. Blood work was not looking good this morning when I drew it. This is not a joke. We have 5 open ICU beds in our COVID unit. We have 17 beds. I am not looking forward to the rest of the week at work. I'm not. I left here wondering if we were even going to have patients, you know. Hey, are we doing good? Yeah, we're going to see spikes with reopening because people just can't follow directions. But Michigan's actually one of the slower spiking states. If you get on, like I've asked people 1,000,000 times to educate themselves, I shared the MedCram video on how to read the charts that are on Johns Hopkins. You guys keep sending me pieces, but you're not understanding what you're looking at. So please get on there and educate yourselves with the 9-minute video. Because you have many different lines that are on there, and you need to look at all 3 of them together and look at the percentage. Some states are way above the percentage. Some states are way below, even though the graphs look like they're off the charts. So please check that out. I'm just, oh, thanks. This is like 36 hours of hairdo here. I came in and took an 1.5 hour nap before I had to get up and go to work last night. And thank God for the adrenaline to keep me going, because I am exhausted. So exhausted I can't get out of this car and walk up those stairs right now. Yes, Lisa. I mean, seriously, I I don't even know anymore. I mean, I live my life on the fly, and I guess I'm pretty lucky about that, because it's easy to adjust very, very quickly to the ever-changing demands of COVID. And I'm just wondering how much of this is going to be our new normal, and for how long. How long are Antifa and hate groups and domestic terrorists going to tear apart my country at the same damn time? Because I love you too, Aunt Deb, because they're mad at a virus that they can't see. This is almost a parallel to my husband and his demons. with PTSD because they're invisible. So is this virus. The world is acting out against an unseen enemy, just like Michael does when it comes to his PTSD demons and things that I can't see, or the rest of us. Oh, and I'm sucking, not quite mucus plugs yet, but we're getting there. We are getting there. It's the same color, that lovely yellow brown with blood out of 2 people's airways. One of them is the guy that's dying. So he's been there since I've been there. I got there May 21st. We're now on June 25th. He's been off the vent. He was on a nasal cannula, then off of oxygen completely. And then just all of a sudden, multiple mini strokes. So I have shared that article yesterday. Recovery from COVID, but at what cost? A lot of people would have rather died. And that's their words. Well, I've already applied for my North Carolina license, so at least I know there'll be work if something happens in Texas. My God, man, what is wrong with people? Yeah, I would definitely be wanting to do online schooling. Definitely. I don't think sending my son to school in the fall is the best idea. I mean, it's great that our kids aren't really affected too much, unless for the most part you're an anti-vaxxer. Then your kids, you should probably keep them out of school for sure, or don't bring them around mine. They're the ones who seem to be getting hit hard because they have no immunity to anything. That's what those vaccines are great for. Immunity. You don't get immunity if you're never exposed to something. At least the vaccines that we have out right now are tried methods. They've been around for a while. Oh, please, Mary. Please. Are symptoms changing? No, they're the same. They are the same. You've recently heard? Amanda, you have not been listening to me since the beginning, I can tell. I've been talking about this since I was out in New Jersey in early April. The blood is extremely thick. Clotting issues are what caused his mini strokes. I've been talking about this from the very beginning, even during my video interview with Melissa Billy Clark. You'll have to go back and watch it. Go back on the MedCram videos and go back and look. From the very beginning of what we learned, and then about a month into it, 6 weeks into it, we started to see. We look at the ferritin levels, we look at D-dimer, and that's what I'm looking at. His numbers have not come down. His D-dimer levels are still through the roof. Through the roof. We don't see D-dimer levels like this even with clotting problems. I mean, when I open the chart and I look at these numbers, I about fall out of my chair. And D-dimer is what we look at with clotting factors, and we're looking at ferritin and LDH, all these cardiac and inflammatory markers. We've been looking at that for at least a couple months now. This was not going on before. This is nothing like we've ever seen before. Nothing. If it was something like we have seen before, then all of the medical shit that we have been trained to do would be working. No. This is not something we have seen before. Definitely not. This was very specific. It's still very specific in nature. It is not a respiratory virus. The respiratory system is the vehicle into the body. It affects the endothelial tissue in the blood vessels. This is a blood vessel issue. God. Hey, Lomo. Hey, guys. Fuck COVID, man. Oh my God. Please just stay away from stupidity. Just stay away from people right now. Stay out of the bar, stay out of the gym, unless it is safe looking. You know, there's some places that have your own little pod. It's like a plastic tent, you know, or cube that you're in. They clean the hell out of it. You know, you're only allowed in for, those are fine. But your eye doctor who refuses to clean equipment in between and make sure his clinical staff is taking every precaution to not drag COVID everywhere, and then, you know, make them wear a mask. What the hell are you doing in healthcare not making your employees wear a freaking mask? Don't go into places like that. If you work somewhere like that, I suggest you find another freaking job, because that individual does not care about you or any of the people who visit the practice. These are the things you need to stand up against. These are the things you need to speak up about. And if people don't like it, that is just tough. Tough. If they get ugly with you, just walk away. Shake your head, walk away. And just bless your heart. Do it the Southern way. Speaking of Southern, driving all the way over here, I've passed by, you know, I've been to Fort Davis several times. It didn't dawn on me who it was named after. And then I hit Jefferson Davis County. I don't see people standing on the border of Mexico with picket signs trying to burn down a historic fort or change the name. Matter of fact, driving through Texas from far west El Paso, Confederate flag. Do you know how far away it is from Tennessee to here? It's a drive. But Confederate flags are flying proudly here. I don't see any people trying to change that name. Now they're trying to change the names of Robert E. Lee in El Paso. I'm like, can I be offended by Martin Luther King Boulevard? If people are offended, you choose to be offended. Nobody offends you, okay? You need to understand this. If you are offended, you have given somebody else's words and actions power over you. You're being a victim. You're victimizing yourself. Nobody gave them power but you. Nobody can offend you if you do not allow them to. Don't be offended. Find some faith in the Lord and move on. Find something else that is more important to focus that energy on besides hate and negativity. But you are responsible for you being offended. If you allow somebody that power over you with simple words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. How many of us grew up with that? If you allow yourself to be offended, you're allowing yourself to be a victim. I mean, I don't know how else to put it to you, folks. If you're offended, not my problem. It is not my fault. It is yours. Oh my God. You know, it makes a lot more sense now as to why Trump treated Fauci the way he did. It's all politics, man. Dr. Fauci is trying to save lives and educate people, and we're too busy playing this freaking political game in America, and I'm done with it. I am done with it. You find me somebody that's worth voting for, and maybe I'll get my ass up and go cast a vote, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like either, or any, three. We have three choices, and I don't like any of them, and I'm not going to choose the lesser of three evils right now. I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not playing into this political game. I'm not going to be, my party's better than your party, and fuck the Democrats and fuck the Republicans. No, fuck y'all. You all need to go to timeout until you can learn to get along and start working for America instead of against it. Because this is what's happened. Seriously. I'm done. I am done. Finding out that we're going to cut funding for testing because it makes America look bad. And my ICU is exploding to the point where 12 ventilators for one respiratory therapist. All of my respiratory friends know that 6 is about, like, if you want to provide good care, 6 vents. Most of us can push it with 8, but we're skipping out on some care. I don't even want to know if anybody else gets intubated today. I don't. I'll find out when I get to work. Don't text me. But I'm going to go upstairs. And I'm going to lay on my heating pad. And I'm going to hopefully sleep longer than 4 hours. Pray, folks. Pray. And it's time to start busting out that Bible and finding Jesus. And understanding. I like the Elevation Church and Pastor Stephen. You should really Google his sermons on Savage Jesus. I really like those sermons. Because Jesus was a savage. Jesus isn't this delightful character who just goes around doing peaceful things. Oh no. Jesus has done some very horrific things in order to lead us to finer pastures. And you need to have some faith. Love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Thanks, Lori. I'm going to go take a nap. You all have a safe day. Stay away from stupid people. And stay away from doctors' offices that don't mask up their employees, and stay out of the bar. Stay out of places that don't socially distance or that don't require masks. You have a choice every day when you wake up, where you shop. That's your choice. You don't have to go to their business. You can boycott them. When their numbers decline because people don't want to visit them, maybe that will be a wake-up call. Maybe. Dear God, please help us.